Hi, everybody. My name is Cole Skelpsa, and this is my rebuttal to the stance of the world is not a class of civilizations. First, I want to get a little technical. Huntington states that the world's cultural and religious identities will be the primary source of conflict in the post-Cold War era. So, obviously, there's plenty of other ways to start a war. Since the post Cold War, the war in the Middle East was started because of radical Islamic beliefs. It is still the longest and biggest war since 1991. Um, the end of the Cold War, excuse me. Sure, there are always going to be wars based on ideologies, or maybe because someone is just a tad bit psycho, or maybe a little hot tempered, such as Hitler. I think one of the biggest errors made on the side of people thinking the world is not a class of civilizations is that they do not always take into account individuals and their actions. When looking at the modern world, we can see that many governments have systems set in place. For example, the United States has a checks and balances system filled with three branches, being uh, the executive, legislative, and judicial branches, all which are considered checks and balances of each other. The reason for this is because our nation was founded on the principles of our Constitution, which was based on God and the political climate created by our founding fathers. This system was created in order to not give all power, but to one, but to many. Um, this makes it hard for one person's ideas, such as a dictator, to have free reign and start conflicts or even war between another nation for really any reason that they choose. One good example would be Vladimir Putin. He's the president of Russia. And the example I'm giving is the annexation of Crimea. Sure, there is a federal assembly of Russia, but it's not really good when a dictator like Putin is in office and filling the political climate with corruption. The reason I bring this up is because Putin firmly believed in his own mind that Crimea was a part of Russia because of the old Soviet Union boundaries and the countries that were in it before. Here we can see how an individual's own thoughts can cause conflict. I want to take a look also into North Korea, which was brought up in some of the debates, saying it was a clash of ideologies with the US and not culture, religion, or politics. Um, I would have to actually disagree because, sure, there have been some conflict because of ideologies, but you have to take into account the amount of terrible things Kim Jong un has done to his own people and that he could potentially do to people on a global level, especially with the nuclear power he has now. The U.S. was founded on principles of religion, which was also, or which allows us to have a moral compass and know what is right and wrong. It was also founded on policies of our government, which does not identify with putting hundreds of thousands of our own people into prison camps, such as Kim Jong Un, or having no health care and barely any food to where soldiers are considered the healthiest of all citizens. Which, I mean, yeah, sure, like soldiers should, be very healthy people, but also, I mean, when you have citizens that are worse than that, then it kind of shows a little bit of a problem there. Um, cons- uh, Also, that Kim Jong Un threatened to drop nuclear bombs, killing millions of people around the world. Sure, there may be some ideologies that created this conflict, but overall, our identity, religion, and customs here in the United States of America bound us together to stand up to someone as horrible as Kim Jong un. Overall, I believe that the biggest reason we create conflict is ultimately based on a nation's beliefs and what we're willing to stand up against. Like I said in my first debate, many conflicts can come from around the world or within our own nations, this being called fault lines. The world is adapting, and with that, we must also adapt. Conflict is started internationally and within our own homes, mainly based on the views of culture, considering many conflicts are based on religious or political beliefs. Contrary to belief, most wars back then were not started because of culture, religion, and politics. They were mostly started on a personal agenda. Um, But now it seems as if the tiniest conflicts are started around dinner tables because of culture, religion, and politics. And one of the biggest things that I saw was actually over Thanksgiving, being with friends and family, and even seeing on Twitter just memes of different people getting heated over the fact of politics and religion, and it basically just broke people apart and just ended relationships. And yeah, it was just a little overbearing, but I mean, it's been happening a lot more in our climate here in the United States. But besides that, I thank you all for watching, and I hope for all of you to have a great rest of your holidays. So, bye now.